Welcome into the video, and today I have a very special guest on, John Kincade from 97.5 The Fanatic in Philadelphia. How are you doing today, John?
I'm doing well, Sam, and 250 years of America. We're getting ready to celebrate. Had a little pool time, a little golf this morning, so it's a pretty good holiday.
100%. It'll be pretty awesome tomorrow, July 4th. I'll be at my grandparents' house, hopefully swimming the pool, barring too many thunderstorms. It's pretty awesome,
Exactly.
but one group of people that it's not very good for is a lot of Celtics fans here in Boston after the Jaylen Brown Paul George trade. Now, looking at this,
Yeah, let me uh,
one
let me just dab my eyes here for I'm shedding a tear for all the Celtic fans and all of you
definitely,
Boston people. Yeah, I just want to shed the tear and offer my sympathies. Greatest
well,
sympathies for you.
I appreciate it quite a bit. Looking at the trade details, the Celtics get a 36-year-old Paul George who has only stayed healthy in one out of the last 7 seasons. They do get a 2028 first round pick, a 2031 first round pick via Philadelphia, 2028 second round pick, best of Golden State, OKC, Milwaukee, but second round picks don't really matter here. Point being is, wow, what can the Celtics expect from Paul George?
Well, what they can expect is you said he stayed healthy in 1 year out of the last seven. Sam, little quiz for you. Do you know what that 1 year was?
It was the 23-24 season.
Yeah, but you know what it was? His contract year.
Ooh,
So it was the year that he needed to get paid.
wow.
That was the year he needed to get paid, and he needed to show everybody that he could get paid. That's what I think of Paul George. I think of Paul George as a guy who, by the way, was a popular teammate here in Philadelphia. He was a guy who the younger players did like learning from. He was a guy who, though, came to Philadelphia and had no interest in being a part of Philadelphia. So I don't know if he's going to have any interest in being part of Boston. So if that matters anything to the Boston fan base, I don't know. In Philadelphia, it matters. He's a guy who drove around the night of the NFC Championship game back in 2024 and said he was stuck in traffic on a tweet and didn't understand why so many people were out in the streets. So he's sort of ignorant to the town that he was moving to and a part of because all he did was a cash grab. All he did was a cash grab from Daryl Morey to come to Philadelphia and be a part of a team because he got the extra year here, he got the more money here, and that's all he wanted. It was about cash. That was all it was going to be. And to me, he was a player that thoroughly disappointed me, even though last year, towards the end of the year, he did show that he still has something left in the tank. But to me, I always go, why does a player like that have the ability to turn it on and off? And to me, that doesn't sound like a team like Boston. That doesn't sound like a team like the Celtics or an organization like that. A player who, when they want to play, they turn it on. When they want to give their full effort, they turn it on. And so for Celtic fans, I would just tell you, I think this is a contract you're just waiting out. You're just waiting out. He's not I don't believe he's going to be a part of helping you win anything.
I mean, definitely one player that comes to mind is Kyrie Irving, and that's very concerning. There are potentially some similarities between this Brown trade, obviously different circumstances in that Isaiah Thomas Kyrie Irving trade. Another thing, Paul George is a player option in his final year of the contract. So I was talking earlier with Jonah, who I met at the advanced workshop, how depending on how the Celtics do, Paul George could just sit out. If he struggles and the Celtics play well, he could be draining their cap space while not even playing very much. That's very concerning.
Well, I promise you this, he's never opting out. He's never opting out. So don't think he's going to do anything but take that money. He's going to do whatever it takes to take that money. He fought to get that money out of Daryl Morey and the Philadelphia 76ers. So that's what he wanted. He wanted that money. So don't expect him to do the Celtics any favors and say, oh, I'm opting out or you guys are out of the contract. So you guys are stuck with him. The question is, can they find some way to get the most out of him so he can contribute? Hey, you saw it in the playoff series. I think in the 7 games against Boston, he had 4 really good games. Really good games. Now, offensively, he's hit or miss. But as far as a player who can help you win games and win games in a playoff series, he helped this year. I thought he was somebody that helped them win that playoff series.
Well, definitely the Celtics across these years, one thing about them is they prize players who can play good defense. You look at a guy like Derek White, a lot of these people that they've gotten, Drew Holiday, defense first players. So if he's able to play good defense, it could definitely help. Obviously, not at the level of Jaylen Brown. But another thing I've noticed, looking at some of the other moves the Celtics have made, it's really a style shift. They were a primarily three-point shooting team, of course, a little bit too much. Joe Mazzulla really struggled coaching wise in the playoffs. And I love Jim Mazzulla. I've met him. He's a great guy, stand-up dude, super nice, but schematically, the Celtics really struggled, and a lot of these moves, potentially, they could be okay with getting a guy like Paul George, a bigger guy that could play big if Tatum's potentially a 4 even. Just a real style shift for the Celtics. What do you think about that? And do you think Paul George can really help that way?
I think he can help that. He's going to definitely help your team defense. He definitely helps you there. What I don't understand is when you're the Celtics and you have probably the second or third best odds to win the East, why you're looking to do this big schematic shift in what you are. That doesn't make sense to me. In the NBA, it's been shown one injury to one of these big teams puts them out. So to me, when you've got an opportunity to be one of the top teams in your conference, I don't know why there was this desire to change things up, except the fact they lost the Giannis sweepstakes and thought, I guess you can't bring Jaylen Brown back because he knows that his name was in that was what was going to Milwaukee. I don't know. I know this, Jaylen Brown lucked out not going to Milwaukee and coming to Philly. I'm not saying winners in Philly are any prize, but it's a hell of a lot better than being stuck in Milwaukee. I'll tell you that.
That is true. Philly can be nice. It's like a little bit of a toned down version weather-wise than Boston, so it's not much, but one thing that he is going to is an absolute super team with Embiid, if he can stay healthy, Tyrese Maxey. That's going to be scary. The Celtics just handed you guys in Philadelphia an absolute squad.
Now, don't forget, if you're believing some of the videos today, and if you look at the videos today from Golf Galaxy, could LeBron James be in town?
That is true. I talked about this with Jonah. Is LeBron James potentially interested to go to Philadelphia after this Jaylen Brown move? And bring back to the point that you made about Giannis, that's exactly what I was thinking. The Celtics basically, in my view, made this move out of desperation because Jaylen Brown, they knew he would not mix well with the rest of the team, or it would just be something way too off because his name was in that Giannis deal. Really, they just backed themselves into a corner. I was pro Giannis trade. I thought they could have made the finals, but you can't mess up that trade in that high stakes situation.
Yeah, I mean, and it is surprising because once somebody knows that they're a highly valued part of an organization, and then they're told, "Well, we were looking to deal you," you don't feel highly valued anymore. And so, to me, I can understand, but as a professional, you're supposed to go to work and do your job. I don't think Jaylen Brown was going to be a malcontent, but he's not a guy who's extremely popular with his teammates. Jaylen Brown's not a guy already that was, I mean, he wasn't picked for that Olympic squad for a reason because of the fact that he just doesn't gel. He's not one of the boys. He doesn't get along with other guys. And so to me, there's something going on there. And Jaylen Brown has that on his resume and he has to correct that. But he's a hell of a player. And I think he single-handedly got the Celtics this year or helped bolster them to what they accomplished in the regular season. I can only imagine what he's going to accomplish here in Philly. And if by chance LeBron decides to spend his last year here, that team's going to be wild. It's going to be wild.
Oh, 100%. If LeBron goes to Philadelphia, you could just put them at the top of the Eastern Conference with nobody else. I mean, Milwaukee's not going to do it. The Celtics aren't going to do it. Maybe the New York Knicks, but it's going to be between...
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe. But I will say, one last point. The Boston Celtics, obviously this team got weaker, but they still have a lot of depth. Neemias Queta getting Mitchell Robinson. This is going to be a solid team on the glass, so still cannot count the Celtics out.
Better get Mitchell Robinson to learn what it takes to be on the foul line, though. You know,
that is true. Hack a Mitch.
Yeah, you got to be. I mean, I would just have him shooting 100 foul shots a day and see what he could do. So, and see if that could improve.
100%. We have some experience with that. And thank you so much for coming on, John, to talk about the absolute Celtics debacle of a trade here.
No problem, Sam. It was great to meet you this week and look forward to talking to you again.